Okay, hello everyone. I hope that I'm audible and visible. So please reply in the chat if you can hear me and you can see me. Okay, awesome. So yeah, I guess we can start. So hello everyone, my name is Igor Krashuk. I'm currently a lead software engineer at EPAM Systems, and I represent today. I will be representing the team, the whole team, who is working on the React course on the rolling scopes. And this is an intro to the new iteration of that course. This is first Q1 iteration in the 2025. Official language of the course is English, so I would like you to ask questions prematurely in English, if it's possible. Like today here with me, there are also my team members. They will be trying to answer your question if possible. Also, we will try to spend some time closer to the end of that session to answer your questions, so you can post your questions. We would try to, again, answer them during that session, and also spend some time at the end, maybe delving into some details. I hope that's clear. So let me start from like a quick intro. Then we go deeper into the topics, and yeah, closer to the end, maybe discuss some questions. So yeah, again, hello everyone. This is our React. Oops, sorry, I've removed myself. Okay, so yeah, our course starts today on 27th of January. You will have like 12 topics and 6 tasks to study the essential of React. There will be theoretical tests to deepen the materials, and final tasks will last 4 weeks. You will work as a team. There will be a team of 3 people. You will be collaborating, and like your final goal would be to implement a fully working application. I will show you what type of an application you will be working on very soon. And like our course ends on 21st of April. We'll see. We will try to adhere to the schedule, but sometimes like our final date might be shifted. So moving on. Okay, so some more details. First week, this is a project setup. You will look into the class components, and I understand that it might sound a little bit daunting, but please don't worry. This is just for, let's say, basic introduction to the React. And also together with class components, you will be looking at error boundaries, which can be implemented only with class components. Starting from the week 2, you will basically re-implement your previous solution from class components to hooks. And from that point, you won't be using class components anymore during that course. Also, on the second week, you will get familiar with routing using the React router and tests in React. Weeks 3 and 4 will be devoted to, well, basically state management solution using the Redux, but also we would like to introduce your context API, which sometimes mistakenly is considered as another state management solution, but it's not so. So context API is more a dependency injection mechanism in React. But again, it would be very useful to study context API together with real state management solution. In our case, this is Redux. Basically, there are multiple state management solutions. React, there is Zustand, there is Jetai, Mobix, besides Redux. But like, Redux is one of the long-running solutions. So we would like to introduce it to you, but you are always free to study alternatives on your own, and we will give you materials. Okay, yep, fine. Moving on. Weeks 5 and 6, they will be devoted to the server-side rendering and server-side generation. On the example of Next.js, which is currently de facto the most usable enterprise solution. But also we would like you to take a look at the React Router 7, previously known as Remix, which also has both SSR and SSG capabilities. So might be also useful to take a look at this alternative. Week 7 will be devoted to forms. We will give you an opportunity to study two approaches, controlled and uncontrolled components, and React hooks form. Week 8, this is like a new thing to that course. This will be about React performance, and when we will be talking about this week, we will get into details of this task. I guess it might be very interesting for you. So tasks will be checked during the cross-check, and like not each week we'll have a dedicated theoretical test. Sorry, we still don't have a test for React performance, but we'll see. Maybe there will be a respective test, maybe not. To be honest, I'm not sure right now. Final task. So yeah, revealing final task a little bit. As I mentioned, final tasks will be devoted to building a real application. If you may be familiar with tools like Postman or Founder Client, which you can check from VS Code as a plugin to Visual Studio Code. This is basically like API client. You can make API requests to different APIs. Usual HTTP requests like using GET, POST, PATCH options, whatever methods you want. You can provide URL. You can provide body of the request. You can provide headers. And yes, you will get response, and you will need to display this response, type of the response, status code, headers of the response. And yes, you don't need to create a new backend for that. You can use any existing API. So basically, this will be like a universal client. Coming to mentors. So you don't need mentor to pass that course. Course is self-paced, and like although we will have mentors, like not all students will get mentors. We will start assignments of mentors after the first week based on your score. And of course, we will also consider whether you want mentor or not. So if you have like a high score and you don't want mentor, that's fine. Again, if you want mentor, unfortunately you don't have high score. Again, we will try to consider this as well. So yeah, but this will happen like after first task, after first week. One more thing here, during the last final task, which will last for the 4 weeks, you will have an opportunity to pass an interview. But unfortunately, again, this this interview depends on the mentor's availability, and like we will be considering like which students to assign to interviews, again based on mostly your score and availability of the mentors. But again, let me repeat, this course is self-paced, so you don't have to have mentor in order to pass this course, so you don't need to worry. Communication. We will try to answer your question in the official Discord channels. Yeah, I saw that you already started posted some question there. That's really great. But you need to understand that we all people, we have works, we have families, and sometimes like not all the questions could be answered. So another mean of communication would be like some kind of a form, which we will try to introduce to you on the each task start. This form will be used to gather questions. So basically, we will share some Google spreadsheet with you, which will list all like questions you asked. So before asking a question, please go to the spreadsheet and take a look. Maybe similar question had been asked already, so you don't need to ask it. And we will try to answer those questions like in a bulk, right? So there will be like several questions. We will try to answer all of them. So hopefully this also will be helpful. Yep, that's all for the introduction. Thank you for your attention. And now let's probably go a little bit deeper into the course. So I will start again from the first task. So yeah, basically each week is comprised of the theoretical things which you can take a look at, study materials, and the practical tasks. So I will stick to the practical tasks for now. So as I mentioned, React project setup, class components, and error boundaries. For this project setup, you will have to start with creating your own project using Vite and React TypeScript template. So we have documentation which like step by step guides you what you need to do. So how you can create new projects, what you need to install. Basically, you need to install ESLint, you need to install Prettier, and a few additional tools. And overall, you can just copy that code and it should work. You need to create a config for Prettier. Like you need to use that code snippet, so it should be identical to this. And for the ESLint configuration, we also provide you the configuration which we consider like important. So please use that one that provided here. Another thing you need to add Husky. So it will run lint command on the pre-commit, and lint command will run linting from your package JSON. Also, you need to add additional command for Prettier, like to fix your issues, errors. After setting up a project, you will need to pick an API. We try to give like options which API could be used. The main requirement is that API should support search and pagination. So like we recommended Pokemon API, Star Wars API, Star Trek API. So example, you can take a look at this Star Trek API right here. They have Swagger documentation, pretty neat, right? So you can go see how you can use it right from here, execute the request, and you can see that this is a response. So why do you need this API? You will need to implement basically a viewer which will let users to see different items, and this step of selecting an API is very important because this will be like foundational step, because you will be uh, extending application during like upcoming weeks. There was a question in the chat about that in some regions not all APIs are available. Like today in the Discord, another documentation had been shared. This is a list of all the public APIs. So you can go through that list. You can try and pick an API which will be available in your region. But there might be situation when people from region where the API is not available will try to test, to check, cross-check some other tasks, and in that task they will choose the exact API which is not available in that region. So, well, probably you also need to consider this. We do not like encourage you to use VPNs or whatsoever, but in that case, if you will get like a bad estimation based on this API availability, you can always go like raise an issue, and we will try to consider this as well. Okay, so a few more notes about the first task, like Coalesce component. So you will have to create new application. This is like a draft template of the UI for your application, but you can like choose whatever layout you want. The main thing is that your application should follow the application requirements, because based on the application requirements, you will be creating new features of your application, and the score also depends on application requirements implementation. So what does it mean? That like you will need to basically create a search input with a search button. When like value provided to the input and button clicked, you will make a call to your API, show the results. If the results are not available for some reasons, you will have to show a proper error message. Like you can use mode response. Also, you will need to like create error on your own. So for that, you will wrap your application in the error boundary. And again, you can add like error button to your application, which will like simply throw an error. Why do we need it? We need to understand to see that like application can catch errors and can gracefully handle like different kind of errors. Okay. Again, you can walk through all the application requirements in more details after that course, and we will try to answer all the questions in the Discord. I just try to focus on the main points here. So moving to the next task, like task 2, it's about hooks and React Router. As I mentioned, like on this stage, on this step, you will be basically rewriting your previous task class components to hooks. So for state management previously, and for access to all the event lifecycle, you had to use class components. On this point, you will switch to probably like use state or use reducer, whatever you like more, and whatever is more useful in this particular situation. And for like event lifecycle, you will use effect or use layout effect, again, what's most suitable here. Also, on that point, you will have to add routing. Routing you will add with the help of React Router. Routing will be exposed via the URL. So like this, for example, right? So you can add query parameter, you can add URL parameter, whatever you find more useful. And also you will add pagination component, and pagination component will let you to navigate. So you will have a big list of items. So instead of displaying all the items at once, you will display them using pagination. So use your API. That's why your API needs to support pagination. Like make a request, get first page, display items on the first page. Then when like with the help of pagination, when going to the second page, you will make a call like to get second page. One more thing here, you will need to add details using router outlet. So kind of like maybe right section, like so when you're clicking on an item, you make an additional request to API to get details about this particular item, and again showing all the details with the help of React router outlet. Again, all the details you have here on this task. Besides React Router, you also will need to add tests, and you will need to add test coverage. So again, details you can check here in this documentation. In case of any additional questions, please ask the questions in the Discord and in the forum, which we will give you later. Moving to the task 3. So state management. With Redux, Redux Toolkit, RTK query, and additional topic here is context API. Basically, what you will need to do, you will need to implement a feature like downloading items, right? So you will update, you will again extend your application, add additional functionality like checkbox to each of the items. So you can check or uncheck any of the items. This needs to be stored in the Redux state of your application. When you go from one page to another page, this information from the previous page should retain in this Redux store. And when user clicks download, you will simply download all the items. I guess like using simply like CSV or maybe Excel spreadsheet, whatever. Yes, using CSV. So yeah, CSV is fine. So like about Redux. So we recommend, not recommend, it's mandatory that you will be using Redux Toolkit. This is like an official way of using Redux nowadays. And Redux Toolkit has a client for API request, RTK query. The client is very similar, like in its API, it's very similar to well-known React query. Like they have, again, similar methods, which sounds identical. But like RTK query is aimed to be used only with Redux Toolkit. So it supports caching out of the box. So you will have to rewrite your API calls from the solution you choose on the first tab. It could be like Fetch API. Maybe someone still wants to use Axios. I know that sometimes people choose it, but here you will have to rewrite it to the RTK query. And for the context API, like we suggest that you will just implement a simple like theme selection. So again, as I mentioned in the beginning, context API is a dependency injection mechanism in React mostly. By the way, Redux Redux library also uses context API under the hood to like provide Redux as a dependency. But yeah, here you will have like a good example on where the context API might be useful when you want to use it directly. So like theme selection should be fine. So I think that's fine. So let me move to this task 4. Yeah, so for task 3, you will have 2 weeks. So this is like a big chunk of work. So that's why, don't worry, you will have enough time for that. And task 4, it's like server-side rendering, server-side generation with Next.js. So what you will need to do, you will basically need to create two variants of Next.js application, one using Pages API and another one using new app router API. Why like two times? Because Pages API is still heavily used. There are a lot of projects which were built using Pages API, so it's still usable. And also, like you will see the comparison between old way of doing Next.js and the new way using app router API. And there is one optional model. Basically, what does it mean optional? So if you will implement just React Router 7 without implementing Next.js, you will get a penalty. So you can skip React Router, but you can just focus on Next.js. So, and basically, again, here we will have also 2 weeks to implement this solution. So you can spend 1 week on the Pages API, another week on App Router API. But if you feel interested and you feel like enough, that you have enough time and you are capable, so please take a look at the React Router 7 integration. Well, to be honest, I think it will be pretty easier because React Router 7 is already a part of your application if you followed everything according to the requirement. So you will just need to do like small changes. Moving next, yeah, and again, like you will have 2 weeks for the React server-side rendering and server-side generation model. So we hope that it will be enough. Next option, forms. This time you will need to create a new application following the same requirements which you had in model 1. Of course, I'm meeting class components. Here you will be using hooks to manage forms. But again, together with hooks, you will be using React hook form. So, oops, I opened the theoretical thing. Yeah, you please read the theory. It has like a lot of details about how to use forms. It has examples of all the new capabilities of React 19. So, but let me delve into the task. Okay, with React Forms, you also need to add React Router, you need to add Redux. I hope that there will be no issues with that. Redux, you will need to store all the like forms execution results. You will have one main route and 2 routes for the forms. One form you will create using uncontrolled component approach, basically manually. And another route will be for the React hook form. Both forms should have some inputs like name with some basic validation, right? So at least first uppercase, later letter H, like email, 2 passwords, and like gender, accept terms and conditions, something like that, right? Input to upload a picture, and after complete, control to select country. You will need to create autocomplete on your own, but this is pretty simple task, so we don't see any issues with that. You will need to add validation, and for the validation, you can use either UP or ZOT, but you just need to pick one. Like it's forbidden to use both solutions at once, so just stick to one, so it should be fine. And with uncontrolled components, you should implement validation on submit, and with React hook form, you implement live validation. So when you submit the form, you should be redirected to the main route, and Main route should contain previously entered data, again with the help of your Redux store. And for the newly entered data, you should do some kind of indication. So, for example, when you entered the data you entered last, when you go back to the main route after the redirection, should be highlighted. Again, we don't see any issues with the task, so just 1 week on it. So, and the last but not least will be the React performance. So this is a new thing on that course. So I will start from some theoretical things. So basically, why you need to take a look at the React performance? Well, yeah, here we're trying to introduce the notion of React compiler, which is currently in beta, and React compiler eventually will handle all the things which you will be looking at here automatically. But it's very important for you to understand how to understand the pitfalls in your application, to understand bottlenecks of your application. So to know how to use React DevTools, to know how to use like just DevTools, Chrome DevTools, right? To know understand React Profiler and proper hooks. So this model, like React Performance, like covers not only these things, but also like lazy loading, which will not be a part of this task. And also we provided some theoretical topics about the reconciliation. Like this is very important topic. This is basically the foundation of React. But coming back to the task, so what you need to do. You will need to use like just fetch list of countries from this REST countries API. To be honest, I'm not sure whether it's forbidden to use in any regions. I guess it should be fine. So this is really a long list of countries with all the attributes which you, some of them you will need to use. More specifically, you will need to show this big list, show the country name, a population, region, and flag. And you will need to add things like filtering, searching, searching, and sorting. What you will need to do, you will need to use a profiler to record the performance of your application before you will do the optimization. So like first you will implement the second point and do the performance profiling tasks. You will record things which are listed here, like commit duration, render duration, interactions, and you will have to make screenshots of non-optimized application. And those screenshots should be a part of your README file for this specific application as part of performance task. After you will do that, you will do the optimization. So you will try to optimize application using use memo, use callback. Again, you will do those optimization based on the observation like from point 2. After you will do those optimizations, you will repeat the profiling, and again, you will update your README file to show the change, which like to show the difference between like previous run on non-optimized application and like your newly optimized application. Again, we hope that it will be very interesting for you to take a look at, and it will be very useful in your future like work when you will be working on the real applications. So, okay, that was all about first 6 tasks. Now, let me move to the final tasks. So yeah, basically here you will have, you might have technical React interview. So again, not all of you, unfortunately, will be able to like walk through that to participate in the interview. But but still you have like this list of questions which you can use to prepare to the interview. Like hopefully you will find this useful. So we have like different sections which you can check. But besides interview, you will have a final task which is called like REST client, and like what it's all about. Let me show you an example. Like, I'm not sure whether you're familiar with this tool or not. So this is an example of the tool which is called Postman. Again, I'm using the same like Star Trek API. So from this tool, I can execute. Okay, I can execute requests. Right. So you can see I can receive response. I can examine my response. I can see headers from my response. I can see the status code of my response, right? So, okay, if I will hide it, and I will try to go with some, let's say, application. Let's go with application XML to see the error code. So if I will go and send like accept application XML, which this API does not support, you can see that we are getting like 406 not acceptable. So this tool is like clever enough to show me all the details of the response which is being executed. So let me remove this header. Yeah, basically you will implement the same functionality of adding and removing headers as well. And I can check, I can select any method, execute it again. Okay, I haven't modified the body, that's fine, but you can see that similar request. Also, you can see that here I'm having some kind of a history section, and basically you will going to implement similar thing, similar client. For this client, you will also need to use some like, new capabilities, like probably server actions. Why? Because not all APIs can be reached like from the front end application. There is a thing which is called CORS, cross origin resource sharing policy, which is a security policy which prevents application from reaching APIs which do not want to be reached. So as a workaround for that, you will need to use like server calls. So your application will make a call to its own server, and from server you will make a call to API. So for that application, you will have to use either Next.js or React Router 7, or maybe like 10 stack start. We also provided this solution. Yeah. So a little bit more about overall application structure. Basically, you saw an example. You saw the Postman client, but you need to create an application with method selector, text input for URL, request editor, headers editor, response section, and there is one more thing which you will add, like generated code section. Give me a few minutes. I will delve into this a little bit more. Also, you will add variables section, like to substitute like any variables with some values during the request execution, and history. And yeah, sorry, forgot about the main thing. You will also add registration authentication to your application. What does it mean? It means that in order to access the client, one needs to authenticate itself. So you can use Firebase or Supabase for that. And for that, we provided also links. Okay, this is a description of functional blocks. Okay, let me start from the main page again. So yeah, main page. There will be like header, logo, language toggle. Yes, you will add internationalization here. Sign in, sign up. Similar on the welcome page, sign in, sign up, where you can log into the application. On successful login, you will be redirected to the REST client. Similar applies to the sign up. When you sign up, everything's fine. You redirect user to the main application. So, yep. So when user is sign in and goes to the main page, we are showing the username like hello, like you are signing. So sorry. Yeah. So from here, for sign in, sign up, you can use Firebase or Superbase. So we provided the details on how to implement Firebase in React application. It's again pretty detailed, so don't think there will be any issues with it. But also you can use Superbase. This is more production ready solution. Again, it's fine. So Superbase has paid versions, but also it has free version. So like you can, it's absolutely fine to use free version. We don't think you will exceed, the application will exceed like those limitations, so should be fine. Again, like it's up to you, it's up for the team to pick any solution you want. And yeah, for sign in, sign up, client side validation, which you've basically implemented during forums. Like, so again, should not be a big issue. Oh yeah, sorry, my mistake. Upon successful login, redirection to the main page. Yeah. RESTful client. So this route will be private and it will be lazy loaded. So if you recall, when I was speaking about the performance, I mentioned that not all the performance topics will be covered during the performance task. And one of the topics is lazy loading. Why do we need lazy loading at all? So imagine that you are creating an application and the whole application like is compiled to a big bundle which is shipped to the clients. And for example, your client doesn't need all the routes. So client will have to wait for a long time to load all this bundle. So application will start working and eventually the client won't use like, the majority of your application. So in that case, you can do this like pretty neat optimization and simply like load some part of your code on demand. So only when client tries to open some road, you can ask your server to give you additional chunk of your application. So here you will do this optimization. So you will practice it here too. Next, for RESTful client, all the things which you will be providing, like selected method, endpoint, request body, you will be exposing using URL. So for example, yeah, restclient.com/get. When you have like when you provided some endpoint URL, you will also expose it via the URL. When you have request body, you can just serialize it and also expose it via the URL. When you will open the history section, you will basically use this information to recreate requests from this serialized data. Another thing which might be confusing a little bit, so generated code section, what does it mean? Okay, so here is this information about how to route on this REST client, how to put the information to the URL, like so. Yep. Again, this is pretty simple. You just need to read through the documentation. Should be fine. So yeah, coming back to the generated code. So you will need to generate a code for your request. So when user enters some data, you will have additional section which will create different flavors of code which can be used to get the same result, like response. So you will need to at least generate code for the curl, for JavaScript using Fetch API, for JavaScript using like old XML HTTP request, for Node.js, for Python, Java, C#, Golang. But again, don't worry, like there is basically a library which you can use for those purposes. Again, this is part of the Postman code generators. And well, they support almost all the things which we put to the requirements. So this is pretty easy to use, but you will have to learn how to embed application to your application. So, and like another part, variables, it means that your code should support variables. You will have variable section, and like in your request or in the URL, you can add double curly braces, and this will be taken from the variables. Basically, when you will be executing your request, request needs to take value of the variable and basically compile all those occurrences into the real value. So when one goes to the request, to the history section, no variables will be shown, just like real request information. And yeah, so this is about the history section. Again, all the details you can check here. Okay, and we have only 13 minutes left. So yeah, let me conclude the final task. So you will have to choose a team leader. You will be working in a team comprised of people. Also, you need to make sure the pull request will be available like for review. And yeah, so if the task will not be submitted before the deadline, so it will not be distributed during as a cross-check, and points will not be added to your score. With evaluation criteria, again, this is like pretty detailed explanation, but just a quick point, like YouTube video is mandatory, like 50 points. I guess for the absence, there will be even a penalty. Oh no, no penalty, but yeah, YouTube video will give you 50 points. Okay, it's cool. So this was like a quick overview of the course. And oh, great. Thank you, Margarita, for answering questions. Okay. Please, if you have questions unanswered, maybe you can again ask your question. So I will try to answer it. Okay. Okay, so the official language of the course is English in the Discord. So the question was about which language will be used for the course, basically. And the official language is English. We will try to, so we have two channels in the Discord. One English for English language, and one like for Russian speaking people. So please choose the one which is more suitable for you. As for the questions which will be gathered through the forum, they should be on like using English only. Okay. Okay, about interviews. So yes, interviews, like it depends on your communication with the mentor. So yes, interview might be in any language which you prefer if mentors agrees with that. Okay. Okay, what is the goal of the course if no employment after education? So this is a free course. Yes, the main aim of that course is to give you understanding of how React works. Basically, nowadays React is de facto the most popular front-end solution, like not framework, but library with a big ecosystem, which you can use for doing front-end, for doing today with Next.js, we will say this is a full stack development, right? And also, you can use React for React Native to do mobile development. This is really popular solution. But about the employment, to be honest, I don't have details right now. But I guess there might be some top graders might be considered, but this is based on the region of the student. Okay, so does the course have alternative communication methods, channels except Discord? As I mentioned, we will try to present you Google spreadsheet with answers, but I guess it's more about inavailability of the Discord in some of the regions. No, unfortunately, Discord is our main mean of communication, and all the communication will be held there. Mm. Oh yes, Margarita revealed that basically there are a few Telegram channels which you can join, but yes, Discord is an official way of communication. Okay, how many students will get the certificate? What are the conditions? As far as I recall, you should aim to get like 70% of the score of the top performers in order to get the certificate. And based on our experience, usually I guess a lot of students getting certificates, and also we are trying to consider edge cases. So when there are not enough, maybe few points, we try to consider it in the favor of the student. Yes, 70%. Thank you, Margarita. I guess I just repeated answers from Margarita. So, uh, um, okay, let me go to the end of the stream so I can see most recent questions which probably haven't been answered yet. Okay, this is some troubleshooting. Well, we have several Discord channels. They are available. Again, there are two main channels, one in English, one in Russian. So could you please check one more time? Okay, we can start with the task or not? Yes, you can start with the task. So today is first day. So yeah, please go ahead. Aren't class components deprecated? Well, they are not officially recommended way of doing React. Why we start with class components? Well, first and foremost, there are still many projects built on top of class components. Um, Many UI libraries still built on top of class components. And for better understanding of how React works, like the things which I basically mentioned, like how the reconciliation works, how React handles things like pre-render, render, pre-commit, and commit phases. It's really like important to understand how class component works and compare them to how the functional component works. And again, error boundaries in React you can implement only using class components. Again, this is just first week, and you will spend this week, first of all, setting up your project, right? Also implementing error boundaries, and starting from week 2, you will re-implement class components to hooks. So there should not be a big issue with that. No, unfortunately, there will be no new video each week. Basically, all the materials which you require for completion of each of the models, you have, on our GitHub. So you please check. Again, you have Discord channels which you can use for the communication in case if you have any questions. And again, this course is mostly like self-study, self-paced. Okay. What if I don't know TypeScript, only JavaScript? TypeScript is mandatory for that project. And again, nowadays, TypeScript de facto is a must, right? So I, I do not recall many projects which are written like in the pure JS nowadays. So we highly encourage you to learn TypeScript. But again, even if you don't know, you can try this course. At least you can start this course, and you will see how it will go. If all components for first task should be class components or only with state. Okay, so I guess question is a little bit misleading. So your class, you need to use class components for the first tasks if you need use state or you need event lifecycle events. No, basically you will need the state in the first task. So yes, you will basically use this set state, and for that you will use class component. Okay, good question. Yes, yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention this. Basically, you are not allowed to use any UI libraries like Material UI, Fluent UI, like Chakra, whatever, but you can use Tailwind. You can use Tailwind, so no issues with it. Okay, some packages listed in the project setup are outdated. Babel plugin proposal private methods. Should we use a bit of Babel plugin proposal private methods? That's interesting. To be honest, I do not recall that we recommended using something like that. In proposal private methods. Could you recheck, please? I mean, that's like we didn't recommend anything like Babel related, as far as I remember. Anyway, if you will find the exact place where you found that, please give link or try to fix it. Yes, definitely. You all can like this video. We will appreciate it. Okay. This is again a good question about the complexity of that course. Uh, to be honest, we are trying to get some feedbacks after each iteration, and based on those feedbacks, we are trying to make alterations to the course. And sometimes people say that course is pretty challenging. For others, on the contrary, they say that course is pretty simple. So, I mean, that's there is I mean that it's hard to be ideal for everyone. We are trying to create course which will be uh, used as a good learning journey. So we're trying to cover all the necessary basics which will help you like to start like working on real React project, right? So you can see that we are trying to go with some enterprise solutions here. We are trying to go with tested, like battle tested solutions, which like used in the enterprise, like Redux Toolkit, Next.js, React Router. So, and it might be challenging, but you can try. And again, if you won't be able to finish it for the first time, you can go to our next iteration. And during the next iteration, there will be changes in this course. So yeah, please try. Mhm. Okay. Again, like there was similar question, but yes, please use TypeScript. We will try to share the Google form using Discord channel, but I guess in that case, we will also need to share it something else because again, Discord is not available in all the regions. Okay, we will consider how to do this properly. What do we recommend using Tailwind, modular CSS, or something else? Again, it depends on you. So if you have experience with Tailwind, probably it will be better for you with Tailwind. This is React course, so it's not about CSS, right? So what you prefer, basically. So there are no limitations in that case. Okay, GitHub link, I guess. Oh, it hasn't been shared. So, okay, let me open it here. I will copy. I will post it as a comment. Okay, oh, sorry, this overall wrong link. Just let me select the proper one. I will share it if it hasn't been shared. Okay. Okay. Oh, and Andre has answered this question already. Well, yes, you can, but I guess after the course completion, because during the course you will have to make it. You will need to expose it, but later you will have to uh, again make it private. Okay, how to submit tasks one more time. So you will be submitting tasks using the application. And like after the, so what you will need to do, you will need to open uh, your branch, expose it, make it public so other students can access it. You will be submitting it through the application. Make it available. So for the week, which for the cross-check week, this link again should be accessible by other students, and after this week you will make it private again. Duplicated question. You can use Tailwind, but you can't use UI libraries during first 6 tasks. But you will be able to use UI libraries during the final tasks. The issue with this requirement, or not the issue, like the justification for the requirement, is because we don't want, we want you to focus on React and like not basically waste time on implementing other libraries into your application, because you might face issues. And like, to be honest, some of the libraries might also like duplicate some React functionality. So instead of learning React, you might learn this library's API. And believe me, like it will be very hard like to answer each question. Like, can I use this? Can I use that? So it's better just to like forbid everything except libraries which are clearly listed on those tasks. Cool. I guess there are no more questions, so I guess we can end that stream. I hope that this video you found useful. So yes, and just for there, let me like, congratulate you all, and I wish you happy learning. Like I hope that this course will be interesting for you. Like we spent like our like time and efforts trying to create it, like, trying to make it as usable as possible, as helpful as possible, and we will try to like help you during this course. So thank you very much, and like happy coding.